All right, so we are now live on Facebook. Those who would like to go and revisit the lecture uh, can just go there. I believe I will send the link later today so that you can go and revise. Very, very important. So, all right, let's get going. So I was saying that last time we were talking about objects, we talked about classes, to a point where I even gave you guys, I even gave you, the one who's saying you cannot hear anything, I think it's on your side. It's on your side. All right, so last time we were talking about Java classes, as well as we were talking about methods. We talked about a lot of different stuff. So, however, today I want us to look into details when we are talking about methods. Or before I go there, let me first have a simple recap on what we were doing last time. Last time we looked at the Java class and its object, where I told you guys that Java is an object-oriented programming language. And the core concept of object-oriented approach is to break complex problems into smaller objects. That's what we were trying to talk about. And I said an object is any entity that has a state and a behavior. We talked about that any object has got a what? A state, and as well as what is the behavior. And then we gave an example of a bicycle, that a bicycle is sort of what? An object. So it has a state as well as what? A behavior. When we talked about the state of a bicycle, the bicycle can either be idle, you see, with me, I remove people, chipango, oh, I remove people who misbehave in my class. Me, I'm not like the other lecturers who will tolerate this. When I'm teaching, you're busy writing on my screen. Me, I will remove you. Just like what I did, I think a week or 2 weeks ago. I removed one of you right here who was doing the same thing. You see, the thing you think you might do something and I will not see. Trust me, that will never happen with me. I'm very, very serious with what I'm doing. So let us respect each other. If I'm doing something, please respect me as well as I respect you. Very, very important. I cannot be teaching, other students want to learn, and you are busy writing something on my screen. It's kind of like disturbing. And imagine we are sharing this video on YouTube that side. So I really don't like it. I really don't like it. Please stop it. So now, let me continue where I was. So I was saying that a bicycle, it is an object, and every object, or it is an entity that has a state and a behavior. And then I had explained to you guys that, okay, the states of the bicycle, we can say the state is idle, first gear, etc. And then we can also have behaviors, of which when I was talking about behaviors, I explained to you guys that behaviors are more like methods, what should be done. So a bicycle can either brake, can either accelerate, and all those kind of stuff. These are some of the things that we explained in our last class. We even looked to how we should define a class. And I told you guys that a class is just a mere blueprint to create what? An object. And I gave you an example to say, okay, you can think of a class as a what? As a sketch or a prototype of a house. So that sketch or that prototype contains all the details of what? Of the floors, the windows, everything, right? But we have to understand that based on those descriptions, we build what? We build the house. Guys, are you hearing me? Because many people are just texting here to say we can't hear you, we can't hear you. Are you hearing me, guys? Please just confirm with me. Can you hear my voice or what? Ah, okay, thank you. I can hear you. You see, I'll remove people here. I don't say one thing twice. Bamuza F, I'm kicking you out of the meeting. I'm telling you, I don't repeat things. When I say I don't want anybody to write on my screen, I mean it. So I will remove. So I'm continuing with the lecture. People can hear me. So if you can't hear me, please make sure that you join your audio. Join your audio. Immediately when you join Zoom, make sure that you join your audio. And as you join your audio, please make sure that you don't write anything on my screen. All you do is to listen. If I am asking you to do something, I will tell you. All right, let me continue. So I was explained to say, okay, a house, you see, we can think of of a class, sort of a sketch, a prototype, or what you guys call a plan, right? We can call it as a plan, a prototype of a house. So the sketch, the prototype, contains all the details about the floors, the windows, etc., etc. So based on the description that we build, on this description, we build the house. Then the house is what? The actual house itself is what? It's an object. So those are some of the things that we 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 learned last time. However, today I want us to learn about what we call Java methods. But we'll be learning these Java methods in detail. Very, very important for us to take note of this. So in this tutorial, we will learn about Java methods, how to define methods, how to use methods in Java program with helps of of example. So I want you to take to note what you're about to learn. The first thing that you're about to learn is you're about to learn about what? The Java methods themselves. Remember, on the previous lecture, we didn't go deeper into Java methods. What we do, we just tried to show you the behaviors, what they look like. But now we want to see how, if you want to create your own method, if you want to create your own behavior, how can you do it? Very, very important for you to understand this. So here you will learn more about what Java methods, how to define those methods, how to use now those methods. Because it is important as a programmer to understand that somewhere, somehow, you will have to you have to work with methods. All right. So what are methods? If one can ask you, or if I had to bring a question, maybe in your test or your examination or whatsoever, if I were to ask you, what is a method? So according to this definition, a method is a block of what? Of code that performs a specific task. A block of code that performs a specific what? Task. Suppose you need to create a program to create a circle and color it. You can create two methods to solve the problem. I want you to understand. I don't want you to lose me from here, because if you lose me from here, trust me, you will not understand where we're going. So here, they're giving us an example to say, suppose you yourself, you need to create a program, right? To create a circle and color it. So how are you supposed to solve that problem? Number one, I taught you guys, you must understand what the question wants. Very, very important. I've noticed when I was going through your, what do you call, your things that you have submitted. I think by tomorrow or Wednesday, you will have the marks of that exercise that I gave you. Remember, you were doing presentation and then you went and reported me somewhere, of which I will not mention. So you'll get your marks. All right. So I'm saying, okay, let's go back to what I was trying. So now, number one, you need to identify the question. The question says create a program. Now you must ask yourself, what program? The first thing, the program is to create a circle. Let me change the color so that it can be visible. Is to create a what? A circle. After creating a circle, what do we have to do? We have to color it. There we go. Now you have noted what the program really wants. So you can now create two methods. Which method is the block of code that performs a specific task? Which task is it, are we going to perform here? Which task are we going to perform here? Number one, the first task will be what? To create a circle. And then the second one is will be what? To color it. So we need to come up with a method that will create a circle as well as the method that what will color it. Two methods. I want you to take note of that and to understand that. So we can create what? Two methods to solve this problem. As I've stated, a method to what? To draw the what? The circle. As well as the method to what? To color the circle. Very, 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 very important for you to what? To understand that. This is a must to understand. This is, are we all together? Are we still together? Are you understanding? Are you lost somewhere so that before I move on, we can see what to do? Are you understanding where we are? All right, powerful, 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 powerful. Somebody is saying no, they don't understand. Don't worry, you will understand. So let me just erase these particular things. Let me just erase that. Let me just shift to a little bit down. No. All right. So dividing a complex problem into smaller chunks makes your program easy to understand and reusable. These can be some of the advantages of why we use method. So in other words, when we are dealing with methods, we are trying to say we are dividing a complex problem. We are dividing a complex problem. We are dividing all right. Okay. Someone just texted me where to go. Okay. Just go to the channel. Just search Chipuke VB. I'm live that side. Yeah. You can just wait a minute. Yeah, that's the channel name where you can search me. That's where I will be. The class is being broadcasted live right now as we speak. So, all right, I was still saying that okay, we can divide a complex problem into smaller chunks that makes your program to be easy to understand, as well as it is what is reusable. So this is why we use methods. This is why we use methods to break our problems into simpler, into simpler chunks, and so that our program can be easy to understand. For example, let's say you want to have what do you call a program to add the program that will include addition, subtraction. You can actually make methods for addition, make a method for subtraction, for division, and so on and so on, right? It makes, let's say, for example, you have an error, you know where to locate your error. So that's what they're trying to say. All right. So in Java, there are two types of methods. Or let's say we are gonna look at two types of methods, of which the first method is these are user-defined method, of which we are trying to say we can create our own method based on our requirements. Based on your requirements, you can create your own your own method. And then we've got standard library methods. These are built-in methods in Java that are available to use. If I might ask class, which example or what are the examples of methods that you know? Examples of methods that you know. All right, let's see. No, car. I mean, built-in method. Yes, Arthur, you are right. Math.power is also a method that raises a number to a certain power, right? Yes, Rotondwa, you are right. The print method. Which other methods do you know? Yes, the main method. Yes, the print method. You're right. What else? Next, don't int. Display. All right. What else? Void. Oh, I don't think so. Yes, we know about main method. Bring others. We want to hear the other methods that you know. I told you about a lot of what. Yes, math methods. Yeah, we've got a lot of math methods. You know, very true. Very, 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 very true. So those are some of the what of the standard library what methods. See, they are building methods in Java that are what are available to use. But right now, I want us to look at what. Let's look at user-defined methods because that's where we'll spend most of our time at. So now, as you can see on your screen right there, um, how to declare, for example, a Java method. So the first thing that we need is to type in our return type, then the method name, then the parentheses, and then the method body. It's just that unfortunately the page has been cut, but let me try to bring it down just like that. So you can see we've got all right, as you can see, we've got the return type, and then we've got the method name, and then we've got the method body. Always take note, always take note. You see, I was asking one of the people who were presenting when we were still doing presentations that time. And I asked them to say, why is it that their method is written public static void and then the method name and everything? Most of you didn't really understand what you were writing. I believe most of you just went on Google, tried to search some methods which are there and try to bring them here. But actually what you didn't understand is that you were actually talking about the return type, just like what is written here, right? So the syntax to declare a method, it's simple. It's just the return type, then the method name, then the parentheses, then the curly brackets, then the method body. So whatever that you will place inside these brackets here, this curly brackets, right? Whatever that you will place inside there is what is going to be what executed. However, this defines your what your return type. Right. Let's shift a little bit down. Let's shift a little bit down and try to explain what all those things they mean. So when you're talking about the return type, the definition goes like this. It specifies what type of value a method what returns. For an example, if a method has an int return type, then it returns a what? An integer value. And most of you were writing these things on that exercise that I had given you, yet you were failing to explain what it was all about. So that's why I always encourage you guys, every time, I always encourage you guys that, okay, you know what, before you copy something on the internet, make sure that you understand that particular thing. It's not a matter of saying that, you know what, I know how to code this. No. Do you understand what is happening or what we're trying to do right there? If you don't understand, try to understand, get more understanding about that particular time. So remember, when you're dealing with with methods, the first thing that we see on the syntax on how to declare a method, what we must do what? We must specify the return type. The return what? Type. So here they've given us an example to say, okay, the return type on this point, if it was an int, which means that the method will return what? An integer what? Value. Very, very important. If the method does not return a value, then its return type is what? Is void. I remember asking one of the students to say, okay, Why are we using void? Somebody just say, hey, because the method is empty. No, actually the real reason why we were using a void, it is because the method was not returning any value, or it was empty. It was just returning nothing. So it is very, very important, or it's very, very important for you to understand that. So after the return type, now we've got the method name. So a question might come, right? A question might come to say, okay, a question can come to say, okay, like define all, define a method header. Yeah, let me put it that way. Define a method header, right? Define a method header. 6 marks, or yeah, 6 or 9 marks, right? So what I will be expecting from you guys is to write, for an example, this, what do you call this syntax. After that, you say, okay, return type, you explain the method name, you explain the method body and everything. So after the return type, we've got what we call the method name. So a method name, it is an identifier that is used to refer to a particular method in a program. Actually, it is what? It is an identifier. It is an how are you going to identify that particular method. So you write it there. Then we've got what we call the method what? Body. It includes the programming statements that are used to perform what task. And the method body is what? Is enclosed by the curly braces. I've already explained that when we were here. So make sure that you understand. This is important. Don't just claim the syntax. Also, understand what is the meaning of each word in what in the syntax right there. So lastly but not least, let's just shift down and try to see what is happening right here. Let's see what is trying to happen right here. So for an example, you can have this kind of a method. You see, int add numbers, then we've got our parentheses, and then we've got our curly braces, then we have the code. This is what? This is what do we call this? This is a return type. It means that whatever this method is going to return is going to be of what? Of integer value. This is our identifier, which is what? The method what? Name. Then what's inside here is the code that we're going to put in. So this is just what a simple syntax of declaring a what? Method. However, it does not stop there. It does not stop there. That's just a simple one, the one that anyone can just use, right? But let's get a little bit down so that we try and see as we go down what is happening. So now, my God, somebody has decided to write on my screen. I will find you. Immediately I find you, I'm removing you. I'm telling you, I know who you are. The person decided to quickly exit the meeting. The person decided to quickly exit the meeting because they know I was gonna remove them. Me, I'm not playing games here. I was seeing another video where the lecturer was busy teaching and somebody was busy sharing what we call a movie. They were watching it. You see, a lecturer wants to teach, somebody's busy sharing a movie during the time of class. You must never try it with me. I will never allow a student to do it like that. Watch a movie in my class? Never. All right. So now this is the complete what? Way or complete syntax of declaring a method. So the first thing, you will have the modifier. I've already taught you guys about modifiers. 3 different access what? Modifiers, which are public, protected, and what? Private, right? Public, yeah. So here we have what? A modifier, then we have the word static, then the return type, then the name of the method, then the parameter, and then the method body. So when we're talking about the modifier, it defines access type, whether the method is public, private, and so on and so on. So I've already told you what private means, what protected is all about, as well as I've told you what is public. So if it's public, the method can be accessed by anything in the class, by any object in the class. But if it's private, it needs certain what approval. So you must know that, okay, most of you, you can agree with me. During your presentation, you were presenting your method in this format. I know I'm correct. You were presenting your methods in this format. Where there was the modifier, then we've got the static keyword, and then the return type, as well as the name of the method, and then we've got parameters. But the question I had, was that, do you guys really understand what you're trying to do? So I've already explained what modifier is all about. So let me try to explain what static is all about. So if we use the static keyword, it can be accessed without creating what object. It can be accessed without creating objects. I believe you guys understand when I say it can be accessed without creating objects, or you understand. We did this before. You remember when you're dealing with classes and all those kind of stuff, right? You had to create an object in order to access the whatever that was inside the method. I hope you still remember that. You had to create an object, then access. So if we use the static keyword, we can access without what? Without creating an object. All right. Oh, let me continue. I believe we are all together. So, all right. Okay. I feel like I should repeat this one because I think many people didn't get it. So remember, before you had to do something like, okay, let me just give reference to this, right? This, let's just, let's say we've got something like that, right? Just ignore that I didn't put system dot in here. So before, when you wanted to access whatever that was inside here, right, you needed to create an object, right? You needed to create an object. But in this case, we're trying to say you don't need to create an object. You can just access it. For example, how can you access it? We can just say, okay, for example, we can just do it like that without creating dot anything, just like that. You can. That's what I'm trying to say. So I hope you get that point. So, for example, the square root method of the standard math class is static. Hence, we can directly call math the square root without creating an instance of of the math class. That's what I was trying to explain just up there. There is no need for us again to create an instance of the math class. No, we can just we can just call it directly math.square root, it comes. So that's why we use the keyword static. So then we can have inside the parentheses, we can put in parameter 1 and parameter 2. You will understand that as we continue. Inside there, you can put what? You can put parameter 1, parameter 2, whatever that you want to. So what are parameters? These are values passed to a method. We can pass any number of arguments. Some other authors, they actually refer to parameters as arguments. They actually refer to parameters as arguments. So very, very, very important for you guys to take note of that and understand that. Are we still together, class? All right, we are still together. Powerful. So today, allow me to. I'll end where. Allow me to end here, guys. Let me not go to the calling of methods in Java. I'll do that tomorrow, so that I don't overload you with a lot of information. But right now, I want to take questions. Then tomorrow, we'll be dealing with the calling of what? Of a method in Java. We'll do practical exercises together so that you try and understand how we create a method, how do we call a method and all those kind of stuff. We'll do it tomorrow together. But now I want you guys to ask some few questions, maybe 2 or 3 questions. Then if there, I can release you. If there are no questions, then I can release you. So yeah, questions. Questions related to the module or whatever. People, do you listen? Like, Aris, let me just keep quiet. I'm saying questions. Somebody is sending their student number. I don't know. Like, I don't know.